All righty. So welcome all. So we have a few folks on here, very curious, faculty or student, and where you are in your quant analysis. And this is really a quant analysis, and I should really say slash discussion. I think I want to do that. So I will we'll talk about discussion as well. But I am curious where you are in the process. I guess you put that into the chat or the Q&A. Get the Q&A up in front of me. Don't be shy. All right. Just a refresher, students still in coursework, collecting data. Okay, Yvonne. Colorado State, howdy, howdy. I'm in data collection. Great job. Other folks, just a refresher. So for the refresher, Christian, there's also courseware that I'll just mention that for any one of the tests, you can kind of just take a $5 course and kind of walk through it. Faculty Eastern Michigan, howdy. Have collected data. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, so without further ado, let's just kind of get to it. So the basic agenda is kind of just let's get through the basics, which is IV, DV, and levels of measurement. Let's just talk about that for a moment. We'll set up the account in Intellectus, show you how to set up your data, or you can just follow along with example data sets. Conducting analyses, that's important. And then how to download that, okay, and edit that, which is important. Discussion draft, newly updated just 10 minutes ago, and then some final Q&A. But at any point, just put questions into the Q&A. And I do speak quickly. So if you want me to go back, just say so. Okay. First things first. But though, I mean, this will all be recorded and sent to you, but just so you know, for the tool, you really want to get the basics down. You need to know levels of measurement. There's 3 general levels of measurement. Nominal is Latin for name only, and it's just the labels: male, female, Republican, Democrat, Independent. Okay, that's it. There's no hierarchy. There's no levels to it. There's just different groups of things. You know, this rock, that rock, that rock. Okay. All right. Ordinal has the labels, small, medium, large, but there's also an order to it. And it's symbolized by the kind of the bar chart. Scale variables are really, they have labels, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. They have an order, 1, 2, 3, but they also have equal spacing or equal distance or equal volume among those levels. Scale variable is symbolized by the ruler, and you can also, so if folks mention it as continuous variables or ratio level variables or interval level variables, I'm bucketing that all into scale variables because for statistical analyses or tests, it doesn't really matter if any one of those 4, okay, names are there. All right. All righty. The other thing that you need to know is what an independent and dependent variable are. This is not totally comprehensive, but basically your independent variable are things that the researcher or the experimenter manipulates. I want to look at running time by gender. I'm picking that independent variable. Things that depend upon what the researcher selects. I want to look at race time or energy levels by age groups. I'm selecting age groups, okay? So that's the independent variable. The dependent variable depends upon, that's your mnemonic, depends upon the participants. What is their runtime? What is their energy level? What is their test score or whatever? Depends on the participant. Okay, so now that we've kind of passed through that basic stuff, let's just get logged in here. and you can get logged in through this website. And Melissa, maybe we'll put that back into the webinar chat, so you can, or I can do that. Okay, there you go. Okay, so you can get logged in there. While you're getting logged in, just want to state that there's very typical challenges that students and faculty have, which is, what test do I run? How do I run it? And what does it mean? So the Intellectus statistics tool really does that. Okay. And I think without further ado, let's just get into that. So, okay, so hopefully everyone is logged in at this point. If you cannot get logged in, please put that into the chat, okay? And then somebody will help you out here, or into the Q&A, okay? For those just following along, let's just go ahead once you're logged in, and you can just watch too, okay? So, but you can go to example data sets and just go to, I think there's a masterclass, okay? Create that project. And now we just kind of have some variables to play with here, okay? Okay, so let's just do some basic things. So most people, let's just go back for a second. So most people can really just, I've chosen an example data set, but you can upload data from different file formats, okay? Excel or CSV. You can enter data manually, which is basically just pasting in a flat file from an Excel sheet. Okay. So I have some data to do that with. So here I could just paste in that data if it's in that sheet, Control C, okay, and then just go and Control V, and okay, so you can get your data in that way. And just hit save. All right, and so there's a few ways of getting data in, via on the projects level and via one of these tabs, or people can share data with you, or you can share with others by just clicking the share button and putting in your colleagues or your faculty's email address. They have to have the tool, and you can get data in that way, as these two folks have over here. Okay, once you have data in, there's several other things that we can do here, which is edit data. Typically here, the most common things are really just two things. The variable calculator, if I wanted to have just kind of the average GPA, all right, I can just get a mean composite, for example, and just to kind of say, hey, you know, what is the average GPA? You can see I named it. I have the, looks like the right equation here, okay, and submit. So you can get the average GPA. This is important for those, as I hope you're doing, is that you have a scale, okay? And I need to average or sum those items in the scale, like I have 20 items to make up emotional exhaustion or whatever. So this is the place to do that, okay? The other thing that you want to do typically in this management is really download that managed data. I've just now added a new variable, okay? So or any other composite score, okay? You'll want to have the, you'll want to download that new data. And you just do that by clicking that button, okay? And then it will come into your downloads. Okay. We have numerous types of plots, tend to be specific, very simple to use. Just click a plot, select the variables of interest. Okay, select perhaps a grouping variable. You'll notice, by the way, that the variables that are allowed in the plots or the analyses have the icons associated with it. You'll also notice, or I'll highlight for you, that in the lower left, there's a video tutorial for all of the data management, all of the plots, and all of the analyses. So just so you know that, okay? And once you do that, you kind of see the plot here for GPA, GPA post, GPA average. You can label these things, okay? If you wanted, you can export these things in different ways. And just going back with those labels, you know, you can rename this title. With the plots, that's worth saying. So with the plots, you'll want to make the changes to the axes or the titles here because it gets exported as a picture. Okay, so you'll want to make those changes now. Okay, so maybe profile plot of whatever I'm doing here, GPA. Okay. Okay, by age group, something of that sort. Okay. I think when I click off it, so you can see the change there. So that's the time to do it prior to exporting it. Okay. And then we have analyses. The analyses run the gamut from descriptives down to mediation and moderation. The basic ones that folks use are certainly descriptives. Okay, you'll need descriptives on everything. Again, you'll notice that it accepts all three levels of measurement here. And those levels of measurement are important because based on the level of measurement, it's either going to give you the frequency percentages, okay, or it's going to give you the means and standard deviations for scale variables. You'll also notice there in APA tables, there's a little write-up here, okay, of what's inside those tables. Once you kind of look at that preview, you can then just go to add to your analyses and get them added to your analyses. A lot of folks, and if you tell me what kind of test you want to look at, I'm happy to run that, but most folks are just doing simple stuff like paired t-tests. You go to the t-test tab, you go to paired sample t-test, and you go to input these. Okay. Again, I'll just highlight the level of measurements over here. The videos are here, and just hit calculate. And here you'll see under the preview, the paired sample t-test. Typically, you just want to add these right to the analyses. And I'll just do that. So for the paired t-test, for all of the tests that have assumptions, the assumptions are built in. Here, the assumption of normality is built in. The test to assess normality is the Shapiro-Wilk test. The tool will then run each of the analyses, okay, and will also evaluate those assumptions. Okay, so when that's significant, in this case, that means that the assumption of normality is violated. You can also see the results are in plain English. Here, there was significance looking at the t-value. And here we can see that the post-test GPA was higher than the pre-test GPA. And then a probability level, okay? Alrighty, so I see there's lots of stuff in chat. So, okay, so what's happening here? So let me go peek at this.
I think you can keep going. It's just
Perfect, got it. And then, thank you. And then you can also just go to download this document. And in that downloaded document, is our descriptives of our variable, which was age group, favorite movie, favorite fruit, and then some other kind of scale variables like sleeping and GPA and so forth. Okay. All righty. And then it results in the t-test. The other thing I want to highlight just briefly on the tool itself is really the power analysis. People struggle with sample size. You could just select the test, the particular test, and then you can see the sample size for different effect sizes and have the reference sitting there for you. And that's downloadable as well. Okay. So I want to make sure that you're aware that sample size justifications are sitting here. The other thing I want to mention is well, maybe we'll just work with somebody here. So aside from Bruce, is Bruce here?
Bruce, if you're here, can you raise your hand, please, and we'll unmute you?
And if he's not, that may have just been an old.
Yeah, and if anyone else shared their project or would like to, please feel free to do that and then raise your hand and we can unmute you as well.
Fine. So what I will show is what I want to do is show the discussion. So let me just go here. Well, let's just do this. So let me just show you. I had so for here, I looked at two variables in a Matchlock burnout scale called emotional exhaustion and depersonalization. I actually ran some tests here. I ran descriptives. I ran correlation between these two variables, which there was no relationship. And then I also ran a regression here using emotional exhaustion to predict depersonalization. Again, no relation, no prediction to be had there. But what I did is, let me add one other test here. So let me just do an independent sample t-test. See if there's differences on depersonalization by gender. I'll get the preview. No differences on depersonalization by gender. But what I wanted to show you was under the discussion draft that I can generate a discussion draft on this. And if I do that, and I wonder if it's going to, well, I should have added a whole new variable. So let me just do something real quick here. Let me just edit the data. Let me just add a variable. I think personal achievement is another variable there. And then let's go to analysis. And let me just, under analysis, I just need to create a new variable. So descriptives, let's just correlate those. Let's just correlate, adding my new variable in here. Okay, so I can see, did I put all the variables in there? First, I did. So no relationship there. I'm just going to add it. So what I wanted to get to is once I've conducted analyses, I can go to discussion draft and then generate a discussion. And what I'm looking to do is to fill out and explain what my variables are. Let's just see how that all works. So here I can say I can name my draft test 2, and then here you really have to, even though we have acronyms for validated survey instruments, we really want to kind of just put the full name in there. So I may want to call this, depersonalization, depersonalization on MASH burnout scale. Okay, so I may want to just name these things more carefully. Okay, let me just do this. So you want to name your variables. EE, this is going to be the emotional exhaustion. Okay. Gender, that might just be fine the way it is. Here's my new variable, PA, which is personal achievement. PRSON. Okay. And then once you do that, then you can just start your discussion draft. It takes a few minutes, but what I'm going to do is just show you what the output looks like. And this output is my test 1, which is really just looking at emotional exhaustion and depersonalization. And you can see that there's an introduction to be had here, implications of findings, theoretical implications, practical implications. What it's doing is it's tying together your particular results with the literature. Okay. Soon we'll have it with your particular literature. At the moment, it's just a general literature. Okay. That is going out to see any literature that's tied to those results. Limitations of your study, future research, and conclusions. Okay. And then there's references. The caveat, the very strict caveat, I'll say, is at the moment, about 5 to 15% of these things are hallucinated. They're the wrong DOI or whatever. So you have to vet each of these. So caveat 1, you have to vet each reference with Google Scholar to make sure that everything is correct and that it's there. Okay. The other thing to note is that all of these paragraphs are written by AI, and you have to edit those very, very heavily. Okay, not light edits, heavy edits. Once you accomplish and overcome those 2 caveats and address those 2 caveats, it's going to save you 15 hours of your life. So, so that's the good news. So drafts are here, discussion drafts are here, and you have to edit them. Okay. Questions here. How do I share a project?
So I believe the project's been shared with you, and then there's just one question in the Q&A about power analysis.
Okay, so I don't know if I have it shared yet. Aha, look at that. Okay. Were we in New Zealand here?
I don't know. So if you shared your project, if you could raise your hand and then we'll unmute you.
Calabet, we're gonna tell by my accent.
All right, Yvonne.
Yvonne's down here. That's fine. I'll take Yvonne.
So I was trying to figure out, so I have a pre-test and I have a post-test, and I was trying to figure out, like, can I upload them both onto the same project?
Not only can you must.
Okay.
So
Because I was going to do, the paired t-test and all that good stuff.
right, so you must have them both on here. All right, so the quick way to do it. So you're a good candidate for so you're in data cleaning process. So
I
it's
mean,
okay.
I was trying to figure that out because the things that it was offering to clean were not the junk that I wanted to get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if I can mess with this, I mean, I think, really, there's a few things you could do here. So the first thing you can do is just go to edit data, get rid of this column. Okay, remove row. That's one thing. You probably don't need you don't need this stuff, correct?
Correct.
So it's just,
Duration, finish. Yeah.
yeah,
None
I
of that.
don't, to me, I like to have a clean data set. So I like to get rid of anything I don't really need, okay? So, and then here, it's, this might, well, is it really question 4?
No,
No, it's probably
that's
this.
just what Qualtrics decided it was.
Yeah. So you have what, 6 items here? I see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yes.
6.
Hmm.
Yeah. I would
And
just
even that last column can go because it's like a free text thing.
this.
Um, where it says question 10.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So, fine. So for these things, and then really, I think I would just rename these things um, based on your question. So I would just call this, is this pre-test 1?
Yes.
So I would just call this, pre-1. Okay. Hey, it's so long, you can't even get to the damn things.
Hmm.
Yeah, you want to do this before. So here, and then this is pre-2, correct?
Sure.
Pre-3, you're easy. Okay, pre-4, pre-5. Okay. This looks like pre-5. This is pre-4. Pre-4. You gotta catch me. Okay, pre-5. Okay, pre-6. Okay, and then this is how many years have worked? Okay, this is years worked as what now? As a nurse, as a
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it could just be called years or,
fine
well, no, what it
for
is.
experience, something like that. And
Hmm.
then a degree.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, and then I can get rid of this row. Okay. And then save. And now I have a nice clean little data set here, don't I?
Cool. Yes.
All right. So now, and then by the way, when you get your other data, you can really just name these, post 1 to post 6.
Okay.
Do you have these people tied together or no?
I don't. So I don't know. I
Okay,
guess
no,
like I
no
was probably
problem.
supposed to match. Yeah.
So for those of you doing pre-test, post-test, you need a common identifier. Mother's birthday, last 4 of your social, some gosh darn thing where you can do that, okay? If you do not, as Yvonne does not, all you have to do is simply just go ahead and make a new column, okay? And just call it time, okay? And then here you're gonna name these things pre, Control C. Okay, and then you're gonna need, an extra row and just call this post. Okay, and then just really append your other post, your so these should now be called just okay, just Q1, okay? All right, because the pre and post is sitting here.
Okay.
All right,
Oh
so
yeah. That's
all right, so post 2, so you're not confused. Post 3. And if you had 20 of these things, I would not do it, but since you have 6 of them, I'm happy to do that. All right, so okay, post. Okay, so then just put them under here and then just run an independent sample. So, a couple things. One is you're going to, let's just put in some mock data. Let's put some mock data in. Okay, and you'll know the changes from the post, okay?
mm-hmm.
But just since it's, other people on the call here, let's just do this. So let's just change these up a little bit. Oops. So I just want to make these much larger. This will do it. This will do it. Okay. So once you have your new data set in, your new data into it, okay. And again, you'll be able to tell that, hey, I got to come back here, okay. You also probably want to fill out these guys over here. I probably just missed it. So for everyone else, and what's very common, as I mentioned earlier, is the variable calculator. Here, what's the name of your scale?
It's a Likert scale,
What's the
basically.
name of it?
ANCUSP, ANCUSP.
Okay. Okay, and I did the wrong thing here. So I didn't want to name them pre or post. I just want to name them Q. Okay. So I didn't do my job here. Okay. So here, so we just want to create a composite score. So S. Okay. Fun. Okay, because you got to redo this. Okay, when you have
Yes.
all right. So let's just imagine we're going to get an average score, and we're going to get an average score. Well, I don't want to do that exactly. Let me see if I can get out of here by deleting this. Perfect. Okay, so here, just get a mean composite of, hey, wait a second. So, okay, this was interesting. So when I went to the variable calculator, I want to do the mean composite. Hey, wait, I only have Q1, 2, 3. But you have 6 of them, don't you?
Yes.
So what's the problem? The problem is that it only needs a scale variable. Oh, by the way, when I was getting rid of these names, I didn't make these things scale. So you want to make sure they're scale.
Ah, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
So so heads up, when you're doing it, it's like, okay, gosh, wait a second. Once it has an alpha character in there, it's going to be, nominal. So you have to change them to scale, and that's the reason why we didn't see that, okay?
Okay.
When you put in numbers, you'll be cool from there. So, so let's just do this. Let's just do this. So let's just name this thing the real thing. So let's just name this ANCUSP. Okay. Let's get a mean composite. Ah, all 6 of them are there. Hunky dory. Okay. So now we have our scores for averaging each of these guys. Okay. Then we're going to go to descriptives, of course. And descriptive, you always want to do descriptives, years experience degree, but particularly, really, I would just do ANCUSP, and I would probably just cross tab all of these by time. I would do something else. So I would I would run for your thing. I would just run descriptives of these guys. Okay. Let me do one other thing. Sorry. You're probably going to have the same. Have you collected this data at post test?
Yes.
Fine. So, let's just. Again, obviously all of the post test data is mock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then what I would do is, by the way, I'd probably want to make this ordinal. So I want to keep that in order so the table's pretty.
Okay.
So that's one thing. Data management. These I probably, I might want to make that ordinal as well. That ADN, okay, maybe something like that. Okay.
Okay.
Not crazy about that long name, but okay. Then I would, under the descriptives, and no matter what study you're doing, I want to run descriptives of these variables, okay, by time. So you put in your variables and you cross tab it by time. And I don't care as much about, let me just add it to the analyses. I don't really care as much about these things by time because these folks are similar to these folks, but I do care about the and cusp pre to post, okay? All right, so that's important. The other thing I want to do is just run an independent sample t-test because my primary question is probably going to be, are there differences on and cusp by time, okay, by pre to post? You're gonna have the caveat here, by the way. The an assumption of the test is that they're independent. Well, they're not really independent, are they? Because some of these people at pre, some of their scores at pre might be the same person at post.
Correct.
So you need to say as a limit, you cannot run a paired t-test because you wouldn't know who to pair it with, okay? So that's not right. So I think I would either run the paired t-test, but it doesn't meet the assumption of independence, that they're not independent. So I think in your case, I'd talk to your advisor. Frankly, I would just report the independent sample t-test, okay? And state the assumption violation that they're not independent, or present the Mann-Whitney test, okay?
Okay.
Which does not have that assumption that that one does not affect the other, okay? I'm 99% sure that that's the case. For
I
sure,
think Mann Whitney was what they wanted me to use.
for that reason.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Mann-Whitney, you can see the significance there. Okay, and then you can see that the mean rank of the post is higher than the mean rank of the pre. So and then you can download that. So fine, just run the Mann-Whitney. Okay, it's
Okay.
under parametric. Point one. The second part is the discussion draft. When you do generate the discussion draft, you want to lay out what the heck that and cusp is specifically, like spelling out that name. It's taking a second here to at least get the. So I'd enter in the draft name. I would add your research question or study aim. Okay, here. Then I would spell out ANCUSP. What's the full name of that acronym? And I would even add the author name and year, okay?
Okay.
Degree, I'm not worried about. Time, I'm not worried about. Years experience, I'm not worried about. It could be years experience about the, in nursing or whatever it is. So fill this out before you go to the next step, okay?
Okay.
And that next step is a draft name. Okay, that next step is going to be, I confirm, okay? This is just saying it's AI driven. If somebody's bleeding over here, we don't want to be responsible for somebody bleeding, okay? So that you have to validate, okay? All right, you got to validate that, and then just start the discussion, okay? All right, was this helpful?
Yes, very.
Good. All right, and you'll get the recording of this. All right, good luck, Yvonne. And by the way, I should make that shameless plug, as I will do now. Hang on. Slideshow from the current. If you all are stuck, you can get a free consult with me. Okay, 15 minutes. You can. If it's going to take you 5 hours to do this, you can use that QR code to get a consult with me. I'll also mention while I'm here that students can contact Samantha to get a meeting with me. Ashley, for any faculty that are on the line, demos, free trials, courseware, support for your own research. Ashley's your gal, Melissa for everything else. And then websites, we're boiling this down to really 2 websites, so that will be forthcoming, and then the QR code. Okay. Let's see the other Q&A. Go back to the power analysis. So, okay. Power analysis, you want to unmute that individual? So
I
maybe,
can, and then we also have Bailey who shared the project with you as well. So,
all right, I'll be quick.
okay.
So the power analysis is just a functionality on the sidebar. Again, just select the test. Sometimes you have to select the number of categories, like how many levels of the IV independent variable are there, and then look at the sample size from there. So that's basically it. Okay. Okay. And let's go back, see if we can bang out somebody else's work. Okay, so we're Bailey. Melissa, are we there?
Yep.
Okay. So,
Hello?
hello, who's this?
Hi, can you hear me?
I
Oh,
can't hear you.
hi.
What's your first name?
Bailey.
Okay, Bailey, how you doing today?
Good.
Good. All right, let's see what you got going on here.
I look at the combined ones. So I I've been working in
combined.
R script. Yeah, so I have combined mini hive and combined dunking data. They're both in regards to mite tracking and like tracking their locomotion behaviors.
Okay, let's see what you got. Okay.
So for the um, mini hive one, the thing is, I only had one replicate of that experiment, but when I looked up kind of what tests to do, it showed me like testing normality and homogeneity
The negative
and
variance.
yeah, and the effect size and Wilcox and like the parametric t-test and independent t-test. But because I only have one replicate, my professor was like, that's all just pseudo replication at that point.
So
I
I
have
don't know what you
4.
mean by have one replicant. What does that mean?
Um,
Really,
I
it's one data
technically
point?
one, yeah. So these are the amount of individuals within G3 was one mini hive.
Wait. G3, G, this here?
No,
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, G3, I'm sorry. Within G3 over here. Got it. Okay. Okay. So,
that was one. That was the treated mini hive, and Y3 is the controlled mini hive.
okay.
So that technically is one replicate of the experiment.
So, okay. So you're comparing G3 to Y3, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. On what variable? These variables here?
Yeah, I have the proportion of time moving, the average speed moving, and the it should say the travel distance moving as well are the main ones.
Okay. So just a couple quick things. So for sure, you want to make, I would make this probably scale, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that's one thing. The other thing is so I'm going to put that in the same variable. The second thing is that in your particular case, really, I would probably run a MANOVA to see if there's a
Yeah.
simultaneous difference on these 3 by group, okay?
Okay.
All right, so you can do that. So you can go to analyses, okay? You can go to MANOVA. And you can go to, let me go back for a second. So since we just cut off the phone with Yvonne, so are these G3 hives unique from the Y3 hives or no?
Only in that one has the control treatment and the other
Right.
one
But
doesn't.
it's not the same one that's been treated though.
No, it's
Perfect. Okay.
I quickly uploaded these data because I
No
was working
problem.
in R.
Right.
The one that has like several like groups that are different is the dunking one, which is like I have a like a sugar control, which is the group A, and then I had a group B, which is it's a positive control, and then I had a group C, which is dunked in the comodulin gene, which is the one we were testing. So
I'm
like,
going to ask the same question about that. Was it the same
yeah,
hive or group that was then treated? Or are they totally
yes.
unique hives?
So within one replicate, it is from one sugar shake from one hive.
And I'm sorry, and that one hive is being treated, or again, are they completely independent or are they the same hive being treated?
Um, so those ones are dunking as opposed to mini hive. So I sugar shake from one hive, and then from those 20 mites collected, I divide it into 3 groups, and that's where it's like they get the one group gets just the control, another group gets the
Okay, fine,
positive control, and
got it.
so that's and then the
So,
dunking one also has time that has to do with it, and I've just been kind of lost with our script and a lot
right.
of this.
So this is gonna be easier than R, but let me just quickly, without losing too many people here along the way, that basically, if I understand you, and I think this is beyond what a lot of people are gonna be needing, but I'll just share that really you need to have right. So really, really, I mean, you're still running a MANOVA, okay? You're just simply going to be running a MANOVA. Oh, I see the problem. So I see the problem. So the problem is that some of these people with time at 24 are the same people at 48 hours, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So that has to be repeated. Those have to be in the same row. So you need your DVs like this. You need DVs like this. Um, this is not going to be perfect, but this is a longer conversation. But basically, you're gonna have, you know, let's just say, DV1, 48 hours. Let's just put it this way. 48 hours, whatever, 24 hours DV1. Okay. 20, let's make sure this is right. Then 24 hours, then 48 hours DV2. 96 hours, it's probably DV1. So, yeah, it's going to take a half a second to think through this, but basically,
Yeah.
you're going to need all of you, and then you're going to have a time factor, group or whatever. So you have a little bit of a data management situation here, where people
Yeah.
are going to be in different groups, fine, but you're going to have DV1 over different times. You're going to have DV2 over different times, DV3. So you're going to need this, for example.
When you say DV1, are you
DV1 is going to be your distance traveled. at 24,
Oh,
48,
okay.
66. You're gonna have, this is, meandering, whatever. That's DV2, dependent variable 2, okay, and so forth. So that's basically how you're gonna need this, okay? So once you have the same, so it makes it easier here too. So for ID1, you're going to be in one group, okay, whatever the 3 hives you're in, but you're going to have distance traveled over time. You're going to have meandering over time and so forth. So that's how the data's got to be set up. This is going to be a
Okay.
between subjects variable. This is going to be a within subjects variable, okay? So that's that. It's a data setup issue you have going on here. So
Yeah.
whether you're using R or Intellectus, you still got to set it up the same. Well, I can't speak to R, but for Intellectus, you're going to need that setup here. Okay.
Okay.
Same observation. Okay. Meandering for the same variable, meandering over different time, same line. Same observation, distance traveled over different time, same line. Okay. So everybody on this row has got to have the same that variable that you cannot be stacking these as you have them. That's the issue.
Mm.
How many observations do you have? Don't tell me 20,000.
I got a lot
How
because
many?
there's 4 replic. Let me see what
Roughly 500, 10,000.
I'm trying to look at the R script because I can tell easier from there. Um,
I'll just look down.
it says I have 256 observations of 30 variables. And I was starting to go through and delete the rows that I didn't need because I was uploading
Yeah. For
the
sure.
original.
So for
Yeah.
everybody on the call, keep it clean. You don't need variables, get it out of there. I think I would try to I think I would put it in Excel. And I think I would have Gemini try to reformat that for me. Gemini I've had very good success with. So in terms of actually doing what I ask it to do. So I would probably give it a template of how the beginning, the end, and then my real data. And then again, this goes for everybody on the call that these things are really good. Once you give it an example of before and after, it gets it, then it can apply that learning to the next piece of it. Okay. So I think I would do that first. And then technically speaking, you're supposed to check every 20th one, but I wouldn't check it, My advisor, I went and did all this data. He's like, great, now go re-enter everything.
Yeah.
Did, no mistakes, by the way. And so, but you should do that double checking, of course, particularly having an LLM do it. Okay. So my advice is give it a simple example, pre and before, switch, after switch. That is how you have it now, how you need it, and then the real data, and then put it in the sheets. Okay. That's your quick answer.
Okay.
And run a MANOVA with the group as the between subject, and then these. It's really called a doubly multivariate repeated measures in MANOVA. So that's the fancy word for it. Doubly repeated measures MANOVA. The doubly part is you have several DVs that are repeated. Okay. So that's what you're gonna need. And under here, it's going to be under that mixed model. Under here, it's going to be it's going to be the mixed model MANOVA.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to need there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And appropriate data. So good luck setting up the data. Go to mixed model MANOVA. Once you get, honestly, if LLM's working and this is working, you're going to get results in 15 minutes. And you've been working on this project for, my guess is, more than 5 hours.
Yeah. Several months.
Several months, right? So feel free to avail yourself to to this, okay? All right, so,
How long do we have access to that and all of this?
1 day, but I mean, it's darn cheap. It's like $59 a month, pretty damn cheap.
Okay.
Even the first 7 days is free. Again, you can bail out of it if you need to or want to. So you get 7 free days on top of this day today.
Yeah.
And you can purchase that at Intellectus. Hang on a second. At intellectusstatistics.com. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I hope this was, listen, get done, get out of there. What are you doing messing around? Let's move it along.
Well, I have stuff that I've already analyzed, but because I can't tell, because there's so many goddamn points, and I'm new to R script, I can't tell if I've done pseudo replication on what's being done because I've been told I need to put in the original data sets. I can't have them combined and then reformatted and then do more like statistical analysis on it because I'll have errors. And so I have graphs and stuff, but I don't know how to upload that onto here / if that makes sense. And so I was all like, okay, I'll just upload the original stuff and start from square one and see if it gives me the same thing I got in R.
Yeah. Well, I would arrange the data set as I demonstrated. Hopefully that and you'll get a recording of this, but I think that's the key part. Okay, is getting that data. Same observation has to be on the same row.
Mhm.
That's the key point there. You can't stack that data and treat them as independent of each other because it's the same hive at a different time.
Okay.
If I understand it. All right. Feel free to reach out, and I wish you well. And I was being a little bit tongue in cheek there, but so good for getting this stuff done already. Keep banging through it. They're putting you through the paces.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang in there. Or as they say, don't let the bastards get you down. Keep going. But
Thanks.
all right,
All right.
you be well. All righty. So, any final questions, thoughts?
I don't have any in here right now. So.
All right, terrific. So I will go back to this. Thanks, folks, for that have stayed in there. Slideshow from current. So again, thanks for joining. You'll get the recording of the video. You'll get upcoming webinars. And if you know others that can use help or might be interested in these other webinars, please share along, okay? And with that being said, I will, there's new messages here, final thoughts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Terrific. Everyone stay well, and we'll see you next time.